Thank God it's a pleasant day. I want to welcome you to our YouTube channel. My name is Jethro Oyalap, and today I want to share with you something very, very important. This is a mistake I've seen singles make over the years, and I don't want you, especially my guy, my lady, to fall into this trap. I want to share with you 10 silly reasons why people get married. As a counselor, I've seen people come to me for counseling, and after crying for hours, then the woman settles down. You are asking her, why did you eventually get married to this guy? You ask this guy, why did you get married to this woman? And so, from my experience over the years, I'm going to be sharing some things with you on our YouTube channel, practical things, especially from my years of counseling. The first one I'm going to share is one of the reasons why I see people come into marriage is they want to transfer their financial responsibility to somebody else, especially in Africa where the economy is not what is expected to be. People are tired of finishing school and there is no job, people walking around the clock, and they have nothing to show for. So when they eventually meet a guy, when they meet a lady that seems to have a good job, that seems to have a prospering business, one of the things they want to do is to jump at the guy, is to jump at the lady, and then settle down in marriage. Why? Because they want to transfer their financial responsibility. See, an average guy in Africa has nothing less than 7 to 10 people around his or her neck from the family that need his help. And the same thing is applicable to that lady. That lady that you are running after have financial responsibility tying around her neck. You see, the guy has her own financial responsibility, but because the guy seems to have a good job, the lady just think like, wow, if I could get married to her, it might not look like the right person to get married to, but at least he will be able to carry my financial responsibility. And I want to say over the years, it was ladies looking for wealthy men to marry. But it's unfortunate that the economy is biting hard, and guys are not even looking for wealthy ladies to settle down with. And our parents are not also helping. You see, a parent tells the child, the boy or the girl, that please make sure you pray before you choose a life partner. And by the time the guy or the lady brings home a guy or a lady, the first thing the parent is asking is, where is he working? Where is she working? Because they believe that this guy or this lady, this child of ours is our retirement benefit. Let me say it again, like I said before. Your child is not your retirement or your pension package. A good parent and a wise parent leaveth inheritance for his children. You understand? But it's in Africa that parents believe that their children are part of their retirement benefit. So when I cannot work again, my children should take care of me. So that financial responsibility is on the neck of so many guys, on the neck of so many reasons. Pastor Jethro, are you saying we should not take care of our parents? No, that's not what I'm saying. We have a responsibility to take care of our parents, but we must be very careful so that we don't run into marriage. We don't run into error because we are looking for a guy or for a lady that can carry this responsibility, this financial responsibility. And I have dozens of people I have counseled who got married because they saw a lady, they saw a guy that will carry their financial responsibility. And let me quickly tell you one consequence of getting married to such a person. One of the reasons is at the end of the day, the guy or the lady will know that it was because of his or her money that you got married to him or her. So one of the things that will happen is one day the person will use it to abuse you. Will use it to abuse your family. At the end of the day, especially if you are a lady and you carry your bag and disappear into the house of that guy because he's from a wealthy family, he has a good job, or he has a promising business, you understand? At the end of the day, there is a way the parents, the family members will treat you because they know you are a gold digger. That's the name we should call you. They know you are a gold digger. You are actually a liability in disguise. The number one reason why people get married in a very silly way is because they want to transfer their financial responsibility to another person. Okay, let's look at number two. This second one is another major reason I have seen, especially among Christians. This second thing I want to share is peculiar among Christians. Why? Because as a child of God, marriage is no testing. Do you get it? I need to say that again. As a child of God, marriage is not testing. When you are getting married, the Bible speaking in the book of Hebrews said marriage is honorable in all, the bed undefiled, the bed undefiled. Don't let your story be like the story of Pastor Emmanuel Geshinde shared in one of our school of marriage. He said a guy came to him for a lady came to him for counseling, and the lady was trying to share with him that the guy he's engaged to has been having sex with her, and this girl is feeling having this guilty conscience. Why should I sin against my God at the expense or just because I want to keep this relationship? So one of the days after having sex with this guy, and the guy happens to be a so spiritual brother that can do prababa. You understand? You know, so many of us speak in tongues without manifestation. So many of us speak in tongues. We go to church, but the fruit of the spirit is not actually shown in our life. So after having sex with this lady busted into tears and was telling the guy, we have sinned against God because marriage is honorable. And the guy looked at her and said, we did not sin against God. Because the Bible says marriage is honorable in all, the bed undefiled. I did not have sex with you on the bed, I had sex with you on the floor. So to the guy, it is the bed. When I have sex with you on the bed, that is when it is wrong. But when I have sex with you on the floor, the bed is still pure. That's a guy whose spiritual battery is probably flat, or somebody has stolen his battery away. You understand? See, it does not matter the name we give to sin in our generation. It does not matter how we try to package sin in our generation. Sin is sin. And the Bible says God is going to judge. God is going to judge. So all manner of sexual relationships, sexual intercourse, romance, smooching, and all those kissing that is peculiar among youth. I don't know whether you are caught in that way. Please understand that God is going to judge. Marriage is no testing. Now, the second reason why people come into marriage, especially as Christians, is to get a license to have sex. Because they understand that, okay, as a Christian, we are not permitted to kiss, to smooch, to have sexual intercourse or romance. So they actually want to get married so that they can get a license to have sex. And I remember a family I counseled, that should be more than 5 years now. Things were not just going right in that family. So I had to sit down, the husband, talk to me, and say, what do you think is the problem? And the guy looked at me and said, sir, I've not told anybody this. But the problem is, the reason why my wife got married is because she was complaining during our courtship that she's having this sexual urge, and as a child of God, she knows she must not try it, but she just wanted to be having sex. That was the major reason why she rushed into sex. So what eventually happened, the guy got a job. That the job is a very tasking job. The guy goes to work, comes back late, and when he's back, sometimes he's outside the country, he's outside town, and when he comes back, he's tired, so he cannot actually satisfy the sexual desire of the wife. And guess what? Problem started in the marriage. See, let me tell you here, as a marriage counselor and a married man, it is not sex we do every time in marriage. Ask people, ask couples, they will tell you that there are times that the urge to have sex is there, but when you remember responsibilities on your neck, I tell you, the urge will die. So if you come into marriage because you want to have sex, every day we sleep with each other, we do it in the kitchen, we do it in the bedroom, we do it inside the car, we do it on the couch, we do it in the freezer, we do it in the store. Hello. You will be shocked when you get into marriage, when responsibility dares you in the face. In marriage, it is not sex you do every time. See, there are times I teach a lot about sex. There are times I'm so busy with ministry that I don't even remember sex. Are you getting me? So if you come into marriage just because you want to have sex, I tell you, you will be disappointed. If you come into marriage because you want to get a license to have sex, you'll be frustrated. See, it is because you have not started having sex. When you start having sex, you come to discover that it is not something that you should spend the rest of your life. It is just that it is during the single days that the devil has a way of painting sex as a very big deal. When you don't do it, you die. That's why you see this girl and this guy and say, if I don't do it now, you die. You won't die. You won't die. There are people who are married and in a week they don't have sex. There are people in 2 weeks they don't have sex, not because they are fighting, but there are responsibilities, my dear. You have sexual urge and your wife just looks at you and tells you, boy, the landlord sent a quick notice. See, that thing will go down normally. When your wife tells you, hello, honey, children's school fees is there and mama in the village is asking for money and at the end of the day, there's no gas. There is no gas in the cylinder again. Hello, your urge comes down. So if it is sex you want to go and do in marriage, hello, that's a bad reason to get married. Marriage is beyond sex. Marriage is beyond sex. I don't say sex is not sweet in marriage. Hello, if you think sex is sweet in courtship, you are deceiving yourself. It is in marriage that sex is sweet. But what I'm trying to drive at is sex is not everything we do in marriage. There is more to marriage than sex. Are you learning something? There is more to marriage than sex. So all this thing that is doing you, when, hello, if I don't do it now, I will die. This urge is too much. Hello, don't worry, don't kill yourself. When you get married, the reality will done on you so fast. So the second silly reason why people come into marriage is because they want the license to have sex. Okay, let's look at number 3. This is very funny, and I've seen people also get married because of this silly reason. People get married because they want to be free from parental control. Do you hear what I said just now? People get married because they want to be free from parental control. Parental control is something, is a gift. Parents' control over us as a single person is a gift God gave to us. It's part of the system God put in place to mature us. You know, this young lady, for no reason, the parent just woke up after 2 years of courtship and told her, you cannot get married to this guy. And she prayed, she asked them questions. The parent just said, we are not going to tell you what we saw, but you cannot marry this guy. You know what this lady did? She got a good job and went ahead, got pregnant for this guy. I know she got pregnant deliberately. She begged the guy to deflower her, to take her virginity. And the guy slept with her, she got pregnant, came back home to the parents. The parents were ashamed and they said, why did you do? And she told the parents, because you did not allow me to go and get married. And at the end of the day, the parent pitied her, left her and released her. They just had to organize a crash wedding for her and she got married. Guess what? 3 years after, she was back to that same house. God has given us parents as part of the system to mature us. Don't let us run away from parental control. I always say it this way: if you have parents, if you have especially fathers or mothers that wake you up early in the morning, go and wash car, go and cook, it's like they are disciplinarians, they are not considerate. See, one of the things I've learned as a counselor is when you get married, you're going to see a part of your father in your husband. Let me say that again. When you get married, you are complaining about your father now that is tough. But when you get married, you're going to see a part of your father in your husband. You are going to see some things similar. Those things you are complaining about your husband, you're going to see it play out in your husband. And if you have actually learned your lesson while you were growing up with your parent, I tell you, it's going to be an advantage. Are you getting it? It's going to be an advantage because you have gone through the school in the house of your parents and you are now a wonderful wife. You are now a wonderful husband. But the truth of it is, many of us we escape from the control of our parents. We have semester break. We don't even come home. I remember during coronavirus period last year, I know people who stayed back in school, and unfortunately, our parents were. It's unfortunate that parents were still sending money to them in school just because they don't want to be under the control of any parent. That's bad. That's bad. As an employer, as a consultant, I do interview for people. I've come to discover that some of the most arrogant people I have met are people who run away from the control of parents. They don't go back home after school. They graduate just like no. Let me free myself. Popsy and Popsy problem plenty. So let me just bone face. You understand? See, our parents have a responsibility to help us in maturing. Thank you very much for watching this this video. Please click on follow, subscribe so that you can know when we are posting the next video. My name is Jethro Tolulope Oyala. God bless you.